Hi, I'm Dana.
And I'm Rob.
After years of honing our skills as engineers,
we decided to join forces and use our nerd knowledge for the betterment of mankind.
With science, passion, and a great thirst, this is the art of beer.
Welcome to Brew Day. We've been planning this all week. Ties are off, spreadsheets down, conference room closed. Let's brew.
Today's show is all about the hoppy beers. First,
and most importantly,
we're gonna brew our favorite hoppy homebrew.
Hoptimus Prime.
Hoptimus Prime is like a $1 billion NASA satellite plummeting towards Mars. Only Mars is my tongue, and the satellite is a giant American hop.
Hoptimus Prime is a session pale ale.
Pale ale was originally made in Britain, where it was known for a golden color, medium body, and a firm bitterness. When pale ale came to America, it got lighter, stronger, and it became a platform for American hops. Session pale ale is a version of pale ale you should be able to drink all night. It's got a lighter body, lighter alcohol content, but it keeps all of the flavor and aroma of its predecessor.
Later, we're gonna go to Abigail Brewery in Hermosa Beach to talk to Brian about his hoppy creations. Let's go brew.
Today we have Maris Otter's, our base malt from England. We have some flaked rye and we have some flaked wheat. Pretty simple.
I know the flaked rye is gonna give us a little bit of spiciness.
It's also gonna add some body. It's really important to add a little bit of body throughout the process to make sure that it can stand up to the huge amount of hops we're gonna add. Now that we've weighed our grain, we're gonna grind it. We also definitely believe that the longer the grain's intact, the fresher the flavor.
So we're pouring in the grain. This is the dough in.
All you're really doing is convincing this grain that it's about to become a plant. So it's gonna take all of its carbohydrates and convert them into sugars in preparation for that. As soon as all that's done, we're gonna rinse it away and use it to make beer.
So at this point in the process, a lot of brewers like to taste their product. Right now it's gonna be really sugary, malty.
The whole time you're brewing, you should taste your ingredients. It's a great way to get in touch with what you're doing, and you can tune your recipes on the fly.
So we're gonna add the last little bit of this and bring it to a boil. In total, we're going to boil the wort for 90 minutes. This is a great time to break for a beer. All right, so it's been 60 minutes in the boil. We're gonna add our 30-minute addition of hops.
People will walk by my garage and comment on how good it smells every time I do this.
That smells good.
This is one of our favorite parts of the brew house. We're gonna set it up now so it has time to sterilize.
This, in combination with the pump, can drop the temperature of our beer very, very, very quickly. Now it's time for the grand finale, late hopping time. We've got 20 grams of Amarillo and 20 grams of Mosaic, which is a lot more than you would normally use, but we're adding them at the very end in order to get all of the aroma and flavor, but a real smooth bitterness. In they go. Now it's time to chill it down. All we have to do is flip a switch at this point.
It's important to chill the beer down as fast as possible. This method is both quick and sanitary. We've cooled the wort down to 65 degrees. Now it's time to start fermenting.
Fermentation is the most important part, and it's not really up to us, it's up to the yeast. So we want to make sure that we do everything we can to make the yeast perform. First, we'll flame the opening a little. We're gonna add some oxygen.
As the yeast consumes sugars from the wort, it leaves behind alcohol and carbon dioxide. The type of yeast and the temperature selected will dramatically affect the beer's flavor.
It's important that we can keep the yeast at the proper temperature, so the firm wrap is a great way to make sure they never get too cold. All right, we've done our part. Now it's time for the yeast to do its part.
Dana, I know I'm thirsty. I think we deserve a beer. Let's head to Abigail Brewery. We're gonna talk to Brian and taste some of his delicious beers.
So Brian, what made you get into brewing?
Where I grew up in Riverside, there was a brew pub at the time that was doing really well in distributing, called Riverside Brewing Company, and Dan Kahn was the brewmaster there. He had taken the UC Davis program, and it kind of inspired me to look into beer, and I had tasted some beer that was brewed by him, and it was just unlike anything I'd ever had before, you know, so it intrigued me, and it made me interested in how to how to create that.
How was it going from the like home brewing, I guess in your garage, or was it in your garage?
Parents' kitchen.
Parents' kitchen?
Yeah.
How was it going from that to an actual like brew pub? Or?
Pretty daunting at first, honestly. I mean, you have a lot more at stake, you got a lot more money at stake. It's definitely a lot involved to take it from 5 gallons to 500 gallons.
Well, let's talk about Abigail for a minute.
Everything's kind of a work in progress. We have the freedom to kind of tweak and dial in recipes or try new experimental things. I'm always interested in trying new hop varieties, new ingredients. I do fun things with adding blood orange or ginger, or, you know, just spice it up a little bit, add something different to it.
So it must have been a huge leap going from Stone Brewery, large production facility, coming here to Abigail.
I loved working at Stone, you know, great coworkers. Couldn't ask for a better brewery or environment to work in, but it's fun to be able to decide what gets brewed next and decide what goes into it and be in charge of all of those things. The main thing is to keep beers on, keep people happy, and not produce thousands of gallons of beer a day. So that's a big difference in the mindset.
Your IPA, Full Nelson, has got a unique hop.
New Zealand Nelson Sauvin. It references the Sauvignon Blanc grape because that's kind of the character that the field testers associated it with in New Zealand when they were experimenting with it. So it's got a very pungent white grape, almost winey kind of citrus character to it.
What's next on your list?
Make more beer. Got to keep those kegs full and keep people happy. I mean, that's the main thing. Session beers in general have been gaining popularity as people want hoppy beers that they can have more than 1 or 2 pints of and still function the next day or stay up all night, kind of have a good time and socialize, you know. It helps to do some blends. It helps not to over hop it so you don't get some of the grassy and garlicky notes that some of the extreme West Coast hops can do at higher levels.
In terms of like malt bill or how we would conduct sort of our, red mash regimen, do you have any advice for how we would brew a beer of that size and still get the maximum amount of our hops?
Definitely need some malt back to balance that out, and the way you're going to do that with a lower gravity beer is, you can mash in a little bit higher temperature so you have some more residual dextrins, and you can also use stuff like carapils or carafoam, dextrin malt to facilitate that as well. Maris Otter, English malt, pale malt as some of your base malt, a portion or all will help add a lot of malty character to that without necessarily heaviness or sweetness. So all of those things together can definitely help balance out a session style hoppy beer.
So what's the best thing about being a brewmaster?
The best thing is having complete control over recipe development, making the beers that you like to drink, and not brewing someone else's beers that they like to drink. Hi, I'm Brian with the Brewery at Abigail in Hermosa Beach. Thanks for stopping by. You can check us out at abigailrestaurant.com.
Like Brian mentioned, it's important to add body to a session-style beer. We did that through grain selection and by mashing at a higher temp. All right, so fresh out of the keg, finally we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor.
I can smell that from here. Mangoes and pineapples and piney. Those mosaic hops are like a combination of a bunch of hops that I love all stitched together.
We got the color and the aroma and the taste that we're looking for.
In the beginning there's hops, in the middle there's hops, in the end there's the same hops. Usually there's like caramel malts and roasted malts and bready malts kind of fighting with it. But in a low gravity session pale ale like what we've made today, you can really appreciate the diversity of hops that we have now.
For such a hoppy aroma, you can still drink this all day long.
This is the Beer Nerds Session Beer. This is a beer that everyone would love to drink that loves hops.
Hoptimus Prime is a tasty brew.
I'm gonna start brewing this beer every week for the summer. I think everyone's gonna love it.
Thanks for watching.
Tell us what you'd like to see us brew next. Use the comments section or send us a note through email.